Hey guys, welcome back to We'll Make It Work. Today we're going to be doing something different than what we typically do, which is taking a look at these GR86 and BRZ sequential turn signals. Now these are for the second generation, anything newer than 2022, and I picked them up on AliExpress for about 30 bucks. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys the tutorial. Okay, starting off with a list of tools we're going to be needing. On the far left, you have a socket. It's a 10 mil socket on a universal bit, so I can get behind to the singular 10 millimeter bolt that's holding on each of the turn signals. I have a pair of diagonal cutters to cut off the tie strap from the harness, which I'll put an arrow to, and that's all those are used for. I have a pick tool for taking off the original harness from the car, and a flathead screwdriver for pushing in the pins that are holding in your wheel well. Also, to add, I used a small trim removal tool, just a little plastic pry tool that I can kind of use to pop off the clips after I pushed in the center tab with the screwdriver. Okay, let's go take a look. First, we're going to be taking out these tabs. So to get them out, there's a small circle on the inside of them that you just push in using this thin flathead screwdriver. You'll hear a click, and we're going to do that with all three of them. Good. That means that now they're loose and they're able to come out. So now we're going to take this trim removal tool and take one of the ends, get underneath the tabs, and just pop out these little tabs. You're going to want to put these to the side and don't lose them. So we're going to rinse and repeat for all three of these. All right, now that it's loose, we're going to need our 10 millimeter socket. Obviously going to make sure it's loose, and then you pull this back. As I pull this back, you can see back here that there is a 10 millimeter nut on a bolt. That is really the only thing holding them in, except for these two squeeze tabs. There's one here and one here, and you're just going to pinch those with your fingers closed, and then the whole thing will pop out after you get that nut off. Awesome. And this is going to be the nut that you're taking off. It has a loose washer attached to it that spins. And now we're just going to get out those little squeeze pins that I talked about, where you just push down, clutch them together. Just one. And as you can see, this is what the back of the OEM one looks like, with the exception of having this kind of little connector here. This is actually the turn signal function that I was struggling to wire originally. These do not come with any directions, which is why I'm making the video. Anyway, with the OEM one, you're just gonna squeeze this here and pull this connector out, replace it with your new one. Once you get your new one back, we're gonna have to grab your harness, which is this guy, as I mentioned, and go into the engine bay to kind of jump this out and run it underneath the wheel well. All right, here we are in the engine bay. The harness you're gonna need to disconnect from the headlight is right here. And underneath there's a tab you have to push upwards towards you, and then pull out, which is kind of difficult. That's why I recommended using this pick tool. With this 90-degree pick tool, I can get underneath the harness, pull up, and then with my other hand grab this out. So we're gonna get that out. Okay, quick little garage cut. I already got the connector out, so now we're gonna be taking this out. There you go. Okay, so now we have the smaller connector and the bigger connector. We're gonna start by putting the smaller connector where the original connector was. So smaller connector, there's the tab I was talking about earlier. You're gonna spin this around and then plug it in right in there. Push to hear a click. There it is. And then now you have this, the larger connector. And then you're going to orient it like this, that this tab piece is on the top, and then the button piece of the original connector is on the bottom, and push them together till they click, just like that. Now, that's it really. I mean, you can kind of just leave it here. You can zip tie it wherever you want to do it. I'm just going to leave mine here. It's not going anywhere. If it falls, it's going to go like right there maybe. It's not really in a danger zone. I couldn't get it on camera actually running it down because I did need two hands to do it, but I ran it behind this. I believe this is the fuse box, so I ran it behind the fuse box. It's under this little tab here, and then down, push down on the wheel well here, and then with your other hand you can kind of come up here, put your hand in here, and then reach up and grab the connector, pull it down, And now, as you can see, it's right here. And the last step, of course, is actually connecting these two together and then remounting them. Now, this should be the easiest step by far. You just take this wire, run it through this top kind of rectangular hole in the turn signal housing area, and then pull it all the way through. Take your wire, figure out which one has something in it. Only one of them does. And then you're gonna plug it in just like that. Make sure it's tight, not coming apart. You don't gotta go crazy with the pulling on it, but you know, just enough to ensure. Reach behind, pull the wire through, and push your pins back in. There you go, that's it. Tuck your wire back behind. We're gonna put that 10 mil back on, and then we'll test out the lights. There we go. All right, now that it's on tight, just put those pins back in. To get the pins in, you push them back up so that the inside part is kind of coming through like that. Hold them by that piece you just pushed up, push it into the hole, and then once it's in, push that pin back in. You'll hear a click just like that. So we're gonna repeat that 3 times. And then there we go. That should be it. So let's go get a test of the lights. Okay, that's going to do it. So if you're new here, please feel free to subscribe, leave a like. I have a few trucks, a few cars I might be doing some projects on. So you might be seeing some old Bronco content, some new BRZ content, and then what's already been on the channel, which is my B7A4. If you guys are new here, only have this car, and you want a fun little side project tuner car, this is the one you're going to want to get. It's fucking great. And it's extremely cheap. It's only about, I think I'm in $4 grand for this. I've done wheels, I've done front bumper, grill, everything. So if you're interested in this thing's build as it comes along, feel free to subscribe, leave a like. It's going to help me in the long run. So, all right, guys, that'll do it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video.